Felipe Massa isn't letting go of the 2008 Formula 1 World Championship, and neither are his legal team after they initiated legal proceedings against Formula 1 officials and the sport's governing body, alleging that a conspiracy denied the Brazilian driver the Drivers' World Championship that year. Massa, a former Ferrari man of course, lost the World Championship to Lewis Hamilton by a single point in 2008 as the relative newbie made a final pass on the final lap of the Brazilian Grand Prix to take his first of 7 drivers' titles. Massa had no problem with how the last race of the season played out in Brazil, but he and his team are still rather sore about what took place in Singapore that year, when the infamous Crashgate took place at Renault, when team bosses instructed Nelson Piquet Jr. to intentionally crash his car into a wall. When this happened, Massa was leading the race, but the resulting safety car benefited Renault's other driver, Fernando Alonso, who went on to win the Grand Prix. Massa's race was also hampered by a poor pit stop that day, but there is little doubt that the outcome of Crashgate on the track affected the Brazilian and, of course, his title challenge. The incident has been compounded by former F1 boss Bernie Eccleston, who revealed in an interview that he and then FIA boss Max Mosley were aware of the scandal around Piquet's incident at the time and hadn't acted. "We wanted to protect the sport and save it from a huge scandal," said Eccleston. "I still feel sorry for Massa today. He was cheated out of the title he deserved, while Hamilton had all the luck in the world and won his first championship." Now Massa's lawyers have got the ball rolling with their legal case against Formula 1 and the FIA, seeking substantial damages for the alleged manipulation that cost the driver millions in lost earnings and bonuses, as outlined in a letter to F1 CEO Stefano Domenicali and FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem last week. There is a 14-day period from the date of that letter being sent for a satisfactory response before the Brazilians' team initiate legal proceedings. One that continues to bubble and one to keep an eye on perhaps over the next few weeks. The FIA have a bit more to do than just kicking around the letter sent to them by Felipe Massa's lawyers, as the governing body looks to conduct an internal review after Lewis Hamilton complained of a lack of inclusivity in the body's regulatory framework. The British driver has been an outspoken voice, of course, when it comes to pushing diversity and inclusivity in the sport, regularly championing the causes on and away from the track, with the Silver Arrows driver criticising the wording of the FIA's regulatory framework, where all drivers are still referred to as he in its wording, unlike in MotoGP, for instance, where they are all called riders instead. Hamilton has regularly encouraged a strong female presence in Formula 1, but wasn't shocked to hear that the FIA has failed to adapt and update the words used in their regulations. "It is only men in that room, and it has been since I've been there," said the 7-time world champion. "There has not been enough importance on changing, probably. Maybe there is another side, but definitely not encouraging to hear that." The FIA has said that the topic is currently under review. We will see if the wording changes over the next few weeks. Get over to GPFans.com to see how Jenson Button is getting back into racing. Sadly, it's not in Formula 1, and why George Russell is the reason why England's Lionesses lost the World Cup final. GP Fans Global across social media, and of course stick with us here at the YouTube channel for more news and specials as the 2023 season continues.